You know too much, and your paperwork is too organised. My daughter really disliked going to school and would communicate this in ways to me through behaviour and showing me. She would get so overwhelmed. On days I tried to take her to school, it would take myself and many members of staff to get her into the school building. When she attended school, she masked. She followed suit. She copied her peers to fit in, and she just got through the day somehow. She found it extremely difficult to express her emotions, her thoughts and feelings, which in turn caused her to have social anxiety within school and leaving the home environment. I spent many years asking for some sort of support for her because she used to come home every single day and have huge explosions of what we now know as the Coca-Cola bottle analogy. I was told she was fine in school. The school put in minimal support, saying she's fine, we have no evidence. Even those supporting members of staff would be chasing her down the street to stop her from running away to avoid school, but that wasn't enough evidence for them. I reported to school about little accidents she'd started having. Things then escalated and it moved on to like wetting incidents, bumping her head, falling and breaking her wrist, being sick. The list goes on and on. But she never verbally told a member of staff when these incidents took place, as she found it far too difficult and they didn't notice, so her accidents went unnoticed all day. I collected her. There still wasn't enough evidence. I continued to push and push for help. I asked for meetings. My requests were refused. I asked for my daughter to be put on the Special Educational Needs Register so they could get external professionals involved to come and observe her, and for a long time this was refused. Eventually, after many times of me asking, she was placed on the SEN register. They knew she needed support, but because she was masking her difficulties in school, the environment, it made it hard for them apparently, and they didn't know how to approach it. Alongside that, the school also sent a referral for social services with all my concerns in it. About my daughter's behaviour at home, nothing about the struggles getting into school, and that's when things got worse. We had our first appointment with a social worker who was very understanding. She listened to me. She'd witnessed my daughter's behaviours herself within the home and on many occasions. But then there was a professionals meeting. I was told I couldn't attend this, but I could put it in writing my concerns. So I wrote a lengthy report explaining everything, my concerns around my daughter's behaviour, the difficulties she was having, the issues in school and outside the school grounds. This was not taken into consideration because she masked. However, it seems that someone had concerns about me, her mother, who knows this child better than absolutely anyone. There had been concerns around me being too knowledgeable, having a file of evidence for my daughter, having attended lots of parenting courses, and I was accused of removing my child from school. I remember at the beginning of my story, I explained the difficulties around school and how she really struggled to attend. So we were as a family dragged, and I mean dragged, through months of scrutinising meetings where absolutely no one would listen to me. I had files of evidence, but I couldn't speak about my daughter's concerns without being accused of something. And then we were placed on child protection due to concerns. This was the last straw for me. I was literally broken. I didn't know where to turn, who to go to, but I knew I had to get help. I had to fund a solicitor to support me to attend all my meetings. And whilst this was happening, we had a child still struggling immensely at home with absolutely no education. This went on for months. We had numerous social workers showing up at our home, disturbing our routine, which made things worse, causing trauma for my children and really not helping any situation. After a while, we were signed off from the child protection plan because there was absolutely no evidence to give as to why we were on a child protection plan. Keep in mind, the time they were involved was honestly the worst time of my life. For me and my family. We were made to feel useless, bad parents, We were told we only wanted a diagnosis for the money. This was our life, and this is just a very small version that I'm telling you. Special Educational Needs and Disability Code of Practice. When identifying a child as needing SEN support, the class or subject teacher working with the SENCO should carry out a clear analysis of the pupil's needs. It then goes on to state that the views and experience of parents, the pupil's own views and, if relevant, advice from external support agencies. Schools should take seriously any concerns raised by a parent. These should be recorded and compared to the setting's own assessment and information on how the pupil is developing. The Special Educational Needs and Disability Code of Practice from the Department of Education. All those who work with children should be alert to emerging difficulties and respond early. In particular, parents know their children best, and it's important that all practitioners listen and understand when parents express concerns about their child's development. NICE guidance. Autism spectrum disorder in under 19s. Recognition, referral and diagnosis. When considering the possibility of autism, be aware that when older children or young people present for the first time with possible autism, signs or symptoms may have previously been masked by the child or young person's coping mechanisms and/or a supportive environment. Signs and symptoms may not be accounted for by disruptive home experiences or parental or carer mental or physical illness. Regional Child Protection Procedures for the West Midlands. Mental health of a parent. Children's workers must assess the individual needs of each child and within this incorporate information provided by staff working with the adult. Professionals working with the adult, for example, support staff, health workers or GP, must be invited to and should attend to provide information to any meeting concerning the implications of a parent carer's mental health difficulty on the child, including early help, team around the family, child protection conferences, core groups, and in child in need meetings. Children's social care professionals should be invited to attend care programme approach and other meetings related to the management of the parent's mental health. Sandwell Children's Trust Multi-Agency Threshold Document. We try to find safeguarding guidance listing a risk factor of a parent filing documents related to their child and them knowing too much. We couldn't. We all have different experiences through the multi-agency assessment before, during and after. Join our conversation to try and make sure that everyone has the most positive experience they can at this difficult time.